just thinking if you could speak more to the idea of the making meaning strategies, ways to engage, ways that kids interact. So I heard you talk about the growth logs and about how their reflection could help drive them forward. Are there other avenues you've done to help broaden their kind of back pocket of strategies for how
Yes.
they might? Because when I think of, the two we saw lecturing, so can you speak more to that? What other ways you've kind of...
Yes, so there's a lot of different things. In fact, we had a great discussion this morning because we're trying to be more impactful with some of this. But when you talk about strategies for teachers, that they can use tier 1 strategies, and tier 1, for all you guys that don't know our instructional model is just like all of yours, except we added one more step in there to give it a little more differentiation. But the bottom tier is all those tier 1 instructional strategies you use. So on that piece, we at staff meetings, whether it's SIOP or AVID, come in and we go over strategies. But here's what's interesting in that, Carrie. It's you can give strategies and have teachers give strategy. I mean, we don't do. We have teachers do that piece, but they can talk about these strategies. But again, it's the follow-up piece. And so we were strategizing this morning of, hey, it's great for them to have these support things in order for them to have more strategies to help kids make meaning, because it is so diverse and can be done so many different ways. But if we aren't there to help support that at the classroom level, it isn't going to stick, and it's not going to stay. So we were coming up with some ideas that we're going to talk about and get together to help that move forward. I think we have a process that's going to work. But you're absolutely right, and we have tons of books and manuals about here's all these great strategies for tier 1, but there isn't a teacher in this building that even turns the page unless I'm with them, or one of my administrators are with them, right? Because they don't see a problem with their practice until they see a problem with their practice. So you're absolutely right. I guess what I would tell you is you're right, and there's a lot of things that have to go on besides.
Or even I heard the peer observation things, or other ways to even expose them, or because I know, like you said, it's part of the challenge that they don't even necessarily know or are willing to open themselves up to another option other than lecture.
Right.
What is it that's going to be that inspiration that makes them?
Yeah. So the AVID strategy for that is 10 and 2, right? For every 10 minutes of lecture, you have to give the kids 2 minutes of time to process that or make meaning of that lecture time, right? Otherwise, they just go to sleep. So those kind of strategies are certainly out there. How well the teachers activate those strategies depends on our ability to help them understand the need and how it fits with what they're doing.
So, I'm going to let you actually say it. But, so when we were talking, Emily was talking about next steps, and someone asked, do your teachers go out and observe, and you had said some of them do in departments or whatnot. But she was saying as a next step.
I was just saying maybe I wouldn't do it by departments. I might. So like in elementary school, right, we don't do, or we do that vertical teaming, that K-6, create a pot of a K-6 teachers, a K is a 1, a 2, a 3. And I'm just wondering about departments, one English, one science, one humanity, however they are, forming a pod or a team and doing an instructional round group within their own pod or team, looking for not content stuff and not department stuff, but more about instructional strategies. So in the 10 and 2 strategy, we're looking for 10 minutes of lecture, 2 minutes of processing time and making meaning time, and I'm wondering about other look-fors within that, if they can define and look for those things and then have time to play with them. And I don't know, I was just trying to make that connection.
Well, I think that's a great connection.
For uncovering some of their growth and their wanting, because right, it's that desire. They have to want to do some of those things so you don't spend your time going through manuals with teachers.
Right, absolutely. So at a high school this size, which is medium size, I suppose, there's still enough players in this that some of our thinking around that has been, we really need our department coordinators to help be the instructional leaders within the building too, because it can't just be for administrators. And so one of the strategies we're working on is how to get them to do exactly what you just described. Maybe not as a group together, it's hard to get that many of them together to do it, but either in small groups or with an administrator, go around and do the look-fors, so that then when they're in their departments, and again, not necessarily in their department, but doing the look-fors that you're talking about, and then coming back to their departments with their administrators and being able able to support growth within each department based on their experiences, and maybe venture from there. But at this school right now, what my vision is for getting better implementation is bringing on board those leaders that I have in my building that are going to help me, because I can't do it all.
And I think the benefit to that, her suggestion is when you observe someone else in English, the content gets in the way because you know the content.
Right.
And so you strip away, when you're not a math teacher and you're going to this math, calculus math classroom, it kind of forces you to back away from the content and focus on the instruction. So I think that was where you were going with that.
Mm-hmm.
We're running quick on time, and I know everybody needs to get out of here. John, any final words you want to say to the group?
You know, I really appreciate the openness, and I appreciate you guys thinking about what you saw and giving me honest feedback. It's, you know, as a principal, you don't get this very often. So I appreciate taking the time out of your days to be here. It's hard to get out of your building for this amount of time. And, you know, I only heard a few phones go off, which is unbelievable for the level you guys are at. It's hard to, you know, someone's always trying to get you. And if anyone would like to, you know, talk to me about things they saw that they think are important that they didn't want to share, you can either talk to me directly or you can send me an email and say, here's some stuff I didn't want to say in front of everybody, whatever. I'm good with that because I'm very open and I want to learn and be better for myself.